Winter conditions can dramatically change what would normally be a pretty easy job into a difficult task. Look at this excavator. It's working on a footing. It's just a normal 48-inch frost footing that should pop right out of the ground. But this 36,000 pound machine can't budge it because its question is, what can you expect if you get into winter work? Now, every area is different, but Mother Nature still affects your bottom lines. Whether your winters are rainy or if you're like us, frozen solid, it can have a dramatic impact on your profits at the end of the season. Take a look at this shot from the boom. This machine can barely puncture this ground. Now here in Minnesota, we need to have what we call a frost ripper thumb to really get through this. On this particular site, we were hoping that the heat from the building would be able to compensate and keep the ground thawed enough to allow us to get through this project. But unfortunately, we had about a week where the high was -8, -10, and even colder. And that cold snap froze the ground solid, which made our job even more difficult. So make sure that you take into consideration pre-existing conditions before you go into a bid, especially in the wintertime or at any time when you could have possible issues with the weather. Now our job today is to remove all of the final debris, the frozen foundation of the house that we had just tore down. Traction as well as frost is a major issue. Take a look at this tracked skid loader. Typically during the summer, spring, summer, fall, this machine absolutely rocks. But in the wintertime, it's a completely different story. As you watch this video, pay attention to how the tracks operate in the snow, both on that T180 skid loader and on the excavator. You're going to see that we can't get any traction with these equipment. That's why when the excavator is grabbing in this soil, you see the entire machine sliding around. It's not the operator trying to do that. It's actually the fact that those steel tracks as well as those rubber tracks just can't bite in these kind of conditions. Now there's dirt on that street. That machine should be able to get it, but there's just a slick enough layer of snow and ice keeping it from really being able to take off. What happens is it slows down our progress on the job sites. And you'll watch this excavator right here sliding all over. Those excavators are like having a giant snowboard underneath your machine or a giant set of skis on a 36,000 pound machine. You just can't stay still. Spring, summer, fall, that machine wouldn't be moving. Wintertime, we've driven that machine up onto a trailer on a flat surface and had it slide off the trailer sideways. It's that dangerous. The dirt, look at inside the tracks. You'll see that the dirt sticks in there and then it freezes, and that keeps the tracks from actually getting any bite in the soil below it. It's tough to see in the video, but you pay close attention to that frozen dirt in there, and that acts just like the wax on the bottom of a set of skis. You just can't get anywhere with it. What he's working on there, just a normal footing, should pop right out, be able to snap, break in half, but it's actually frozen into the bank next to it. So not only is he trying to remove that footing, he's got to separate it from the ice that is holding it in place right now, making the job even more difficult than it needs to be. Hey, I want to take a moment just to say thank you to everybody that subscribes, and to all my subscribers, to all you fans out there that are sharing these videos. That means a world to me. If it wasn't for you guys subscribing, sharing, commenting, and liking, I would have quit this a long time ago. So a big thank you to all of you for everything you guys do, for sharing these videos on Facebook, and for sharing them on the different lawn and landscaping forums. Thank you so much. Your help is really appreciated. You can really hear the strain the machine is putting on just this one small piece of frozen foundation. Now imagine having to take out the entire basement like this. Yeah, piece took forever. So what you're going to see next is our cheat move. What we do is we grab a piece of that foundation, lift it high up in the air, and let her go. When it hits the bottom, it should spider web. If this was a concrete pool, this is how we take out the concrete pools. We use a big boulder. Now in this case, it still works, but it's not very effective because the ground is so froze. But you gotta still keep struggling away. You can see how much longer it takes to do a job.